Welcome, fans of Yearning. This is part 2. Today, I unintentionally have assembled a little bit of a theme here. Almost all of these have a little bit of cheating element, which I'm not normally a fan of. Like, I'm really not. I don't seek them out. I don't enjoy love triangles. But there's something about it that worked with these. So forgive me, I have my notes right here. I'm going to read off screen. I didn't have time to memorize everything. Forget Me Not by Carissa Kenward is one of the most uniquely written books I've read in a while. It's in first person omniscient, and it's a sci-fi fantasy, and it has some of the most artistic sex scenes. Like, they're beautiful. They're very hot, and they're like artsy. This follows Eliza and Silas. In their dreams, they dream of each other, and they think that it's just this fantasy, that this person doesn't even exist. And even though they're like these episodic dreams where you remember the previous thing, and it's just like your dream guy or your dream girl idea just like turned on its head. And one day they cross paths on a space station and they realize this other person is real, and there are consequences to that, like upending your life for this person that you've fantasized about and know but don't know. It is so hot and so beautifully written. I loved this book to pieces. The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I think I mentioned her as an author last time, and there's another one of hers mentioned in this one. She's so good at Yearning. This one is a romantic comedy, enemies to lovers. It follows Drew, who's a musician, and she's going on a vacation in Hawaii with her on-again, off-again kind of piece of shit boyfriend. His name is Six, like the number. I almost said letter. Did you see that? That would have been embarrassing. And his family is great, but he does have a brother who's a doctor. His name is Joshua, and he's kind of a jerk. But he's only a jerk to her because he has this misunderstanding, which, like, is understandable, the misunderstanding. And, of course, it's like a story with the two of them. And there's some caretaking in this. There's yearning. There's this forbidden element. And it knocked my socks off. I've read it a couple times. It is so much fun. If you liked the hating game kind of vibes, this gives that. Next up is a little bit of a change of pace. It is April and Oliver by Tess Callahan. I do have a review. I will link it. This is a literary fiction with romance. The yearning is insane. There are some triggers in here, so I would suggest checking those out. But they're childhood best friends, and some tumultuous things happen with April. And the story starts off years later after the death of her brother, who she was very much the parental figure for. She and Oliver are kind of offered this second chance, and he's more like controlling and wanting to protect, and she just sabotages the shit out of her life. And the writing is beautiful. I've actually pulled a short quote to try to convince you if you're a prose fan like me. He was so close, she could almost hear the movement of his thoughts, the roll of the tide. She had slipped inside his skin. I cannot get enough. I love her writing so much. And there is a sequel, which I never would have expected. It's called Dodland. I did love that too. Next up, we have Fake Empire by C.W. Farnsworth. It follows this arranged marriage between these two, like, super elite, like Vanderbilt, Rockefeller, kind of very, very wealthy New York families, and their two children that they arrange a marriage for. And because it's very much this business alliance, there are no feelings involved. And then, of course, as they catch feelings, there's this, like, forbidden element because of that. And Scarlett, the female main character, is like an ice queen, but not in, like, a cruel way, just this kind of masculine way, but she also is still very feminine, and I found that balance of masculine and feminine with her to be just like a really cool element to see. And I'm going to go back to Elizabeth O'Rourke. This one is Undertoe. This is the least spicy of the list. It is very slow burn. It's like the one that got away, but he came back. So they come from like two different classes. His family, or I think it was just his mother, was a maid in her summer house, Mora, her family's summer house, and she like grew up with him, was like totally in love with him as a child, and he was in love with her, and then something, you don't know what, but something happens, and he completely disappears, and it breaks her heart, and now we're into the future, and he's back, and you're like, whoa, what happened? And there is a miscommunication trope in this, but you know what? It worked so freaking well. I didn't even bat an eye at it. There's so much angst. I would say this is probably the angstiest on this list, or one of the angstiest on this list. Twisted Games by Anna Huang. Maybe you've heard of this one. I feel like the series was pretty popular. It's a bodyguard and a bodyguard-y, the one being guarded, which is not a thing I see often in contemporary books. It's mostly a fantasy thing I get to see because the opportunity is just like right there. But it was really fun to see this. I am such a fan of the movie The Bodyguard. I also really like the book that Catherine Center wrote called The Bodyguard, but I digress. It follows Bridget, who is unexpectedly thrust to be a queen of, I can't remember where, because her brother abdicates the throne, and she has this bodyguard called Reese, and there's this forbidden element because obviously he's her bodyguard. They shouldn't be getting involved, and I remember the spicy scenes in this were like electric, and there was so much angst because it was forbidden, and it was so yummy. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. And last but not least is the one with the heaviest cheating in this. It is Thoughtless by S.C. Stevens. It is an oldie. If you have been around into like the indie romance books since, I don't know, I think this came out in maybe 2012-ish. It follows Kira Allen, who thought she knew what love was. This is like her first and only love, Denny, and they move into a friend of his, Kellen, who is this magnetic rock star, and they're just temporarily living with him while they move to the new city, and torn between like the safe choice of being with this love that she's always known, or cheating on him with the rock star guy, Kellen. It was like inexcusable. Honestly, this is the most, I don't want to say unforgivable, but like kind of. But for some reason it worked. The emotional stakes were so high. Forbidden romance element, the angst was insane because the stakes were so high for both of them because they both loved Denny, but they were just like incapable of controlling themselves. So if cheating isn't a thing that bothers you, I think you'll like that book. I hope to see you guys around. Please subscribe if you liked this and give this video a thumbs up. I feel so weird saying that despite that I've been doing this forever. I will see you guys later. Bye.